guys, what accounts for the lowering relationship formation that we see today? I'm going to link to a video by Dr. Sam Vaknin that I watched today that has a lot of historical context based on studies that show why this is happening or what is happening. I'm going to add some of my own twists and turns to this. But first, let's have a toast. This is one of the Malbecs that I'm trying from Allison Moore, AllisonWinePromo.com. Allison Moore is a journalist I watch on YouTube, although now she's on locals because a lot of her videos are getting banned because she talks about the thing where we have to wear a, you know. So yummy. So I think that feminism has a lot to do with it. The women are now working, earning their own money. They're out graduating men in college 2-to-1. And so they're no longer able to look to men as being the provider, the caretaker. And I don't refer to studies so often as I do more to my own experience and my feelings. And that's something that the studies don't share, is how people feel. For example, I went to a open house dance lesson today. It's couples dancing, and I signed up for private lessons, by the way. And I let the men lead me. First, I was trying to do the step, and then when I was dancing with one of the instructors and he led me, I could just let go and be in my body and follow his lead, and it was so easy and it felt so good, and I don't think that men really understand how nurturing it is and how, it just like relaxes every fiber in my body when there's a man guiding me, leading me, protecting me, providing for me, because it lets me open, surrender, and relax in a way that's like very easy for me to get into as a woman. And because men have kind of given up on college, I'm going to blame colleges for becoming too liberal and too expensive. Because men's wages have flattened. Thank you, Bill Clinton, for outsourcing, although maybe we can't just blame him. The elimination of pensions, healthcare for the family, consumerism, more and more money going to the top, the drop in the middle class, that men no longer feel like I can provide for you and have a relationship and build a family, and women no longer saying, I trust you and I'm going to receive from you. I need to make it in this world. I have to count on myself. I'm not going to count on a man. I'm going to compete. And I'm going to be a little sexist here, a little bit like Suzanne Venker, the Alpha Female's Guide to Men in Marriage. I'm going to be a little bit sexist here because I think we need some people to start to talk about our differences and honoring them. Is that our nervous systems are not like a man's. Like, yes, we want to work. I just don't think that women are nourished emotionally in the competitive workplace. And that's what John Gray talks about a lot. John Gray, the author of the Mars Venus books. I have a book on women in the workplace that my son borrowed. And he doesn't live in San Diego anymore, so I need to get that book back next time I see him. But he talks in there about how the workplace is very competitive and how women, we're more emotional. We're supposed to be more emotional. And our emotionality has to be completely pushed down in the workplace where we have to compete. I can't be like, oh my God, my feelings are so hurt that you didn't buy this product from me, or that, I feel really left out that you didn't ask for my opinion at this meeting. Like, it has to all be squished down. We got to compete and drive in traffic and come home and then still take care of the kids and take care of the house. I was married to a guy who helped with everything. So, but I know that's not the experience of a lot of women. And so they're feeling stressed, and then they're like, I can't really add a family to this whole mix. And I don't feel, I think that this gender blending has made people not want to form relationships as much as they used to. For example, when I was married, we had a very traditional marriage, and I liked it that way, and he liked it that way, I think. I think he wanted me to work more and make more money, but I liked being at home. But I will tell you this one thing though too, and there's nothing perfect. The downside of the woman not making enough money is I started to think, well, who am I without him? I started feeling dependent and helpless. And I kept wondering, who would I be if he wasn't paying for most of everything? I don't have to wonder anymore. Okay, so also when it comes to casual sex, I think that women often use sex to feel, men will have sex because it's like, that's free available pussy. I will take that pussy. It's impersonal. My dick needs to get in there. And he is not going to pair bond with you because men pair bond with familiarity. Whereas for a woman, his interest is personal, and the focus is, I like you enough to have sex with you. And the pair bonding is very quick. It used to be in the 70s when I was dating that we would have sex and then we would date, and the men generally wanted to date. Now it's like the men don't want a relationship. They just will take the sex, and then women are like, what? What? This isn't fair. The sex isn't that great. The college age women will get drunk to have sex. They will eliminate any kind of tenderness during sex, like eye contact, kissing, it's going to be mostly rough. They will ignore each other after, and they won't have sex a second time because they want it to be just very physical, like it is in porn. Like porn is the way that people are learning about sex, and they're trying to copy that kind of sex. And we don't have enough good sex education. So so women have kind of like started to say like, I don't really like this. And there was an article in the 2018 Atlantic about the sex recession and the rising rate of celibacy. In fact, now it turns out that only 30% of Americans will never marry. 30% of Americans are currently single. So that's over half of Americans are single, not in a relationship. And the best way to get sex, you guys, is in a relationship. Believe me, I'm single. You can have the most sex in a relationship. Some of you are in sexless marriages. You might not believe me, but generally it is. And because people are being single, they're not having as much sex as the married people. So why aren't people getting into relationships if they really like sex that much? Why is it? And I'm going to put this on the men, because women are the gatekeepers of sex and men are the gatekeepers of relationship. With one caveat, Dr. Vaknin was saying in this video that usually men want to form relationships in their 20s and women have no interest, they're working. Then women want to form relationships in their 30s and men are no longer interested. And part of it too could be like, oh, your body count is too high, or you're not as youthful anymore, or whatever reasons men have for not wanting a relationship. I think there are a lot of reasons men don't want a relationship. Body count could be one. I think that they're discouraged due to their inability to provide as they used to, and maybe because of no-fault divorce, they're afraid that a woman won't really stay with them, or I don't know, maybe this is just the age of me. I don't want to put the effort into the work that a relationship takes. There are not a lot of people like me who actually think that a relationship is part of our fucking life spiritual journey. The same way that I pay attention to what foods I eat, I pay attention to my fitness. I invest in my fitness. I invest in my health because I want to. I love that stuff. I invest in my sexuality by masturbating. And I invest in my business, and I want to invest in a relationship because I also invest in my meditation practice. It's for personal development. You know, this age of me can be a great retaliation against having felt constricted or powerless or whatever. It could just be like something that we're going through. It's a worldwide phenomenon, you guys. But we are losing a lot of qualities that can only be developed in a relationship. And that's why I would never date a guy over 40 who has never been married, because they lack the qualities that are required of being selfless, thinking about another person, regulating when you're upset with someone, self-regulating, knowing how to repair, knowing how to be intimate, how to be vulnerable. Those are very important skills. You can live alone and think like I do. I'm like, my life is easy. I got it all figured out because nobody's challenging me. Nobody's challenging me. Nobody's forcing me to grow in this way. And that's why I really like the work of Terry Real. And I'm in his relationship, couples therapy courses now, relational life therapy, because he teaches that for couples who don't get along, we want to find their dance. We want to heal their emotional inner child trauma, and then we want to teach them relationship skills. So to me, this is like something I'm excited about, the same way someone else might be excited about learning how to fix cars or learn how to fly an airplane, And I don't know why more people aren't excited about this. Like, I've always liked family life. And after my divorce, I was shocked to find out that so many men just want the sex and don't want the relationship. I'm like, well, if you were in a relationship with me or some other woman, you could have sex all the time. You could have someone to talk to, someone to have fun with. Like, why don't you want that? And that's my big question. So men are the gatekeepers of relationship, and I don't believe anyone who tells me otherwise, because women generally do want to have a relationship when they're having sex with a man. They don't want just the one night stands. The sex is not as good for women. And I think it's the men who are checking out. I think that we have to look at why men are checking out. Now, my 3 kids, I have 2 boys and a daughter, and they are all in happy relationships. So I don't see that problem with my kids. My ex-husband is happily remarried. After I divorced him, he went to look for another wife because he liked being married. And I guess that's a compliment to me, because he was not like, never again. But I have struggled. Some of it is because I like men who have certain qualities that I don't find in men my age. I like, and maybe I'm more selfish. And let's talk about the selfish part. The selfish part is me, and also we have the phones. Why do you need a relationship with all the work and all the money it takes when you can just be playing your video games for the guys, or watching Netflix or YouTube videos, or being on your social media or on your dating app or porn? You've got your phone. You're connected. You can have sex on your phone. You can date on your phone. You don't ever have to go out. You can even have DoorDash delivered. You don't have to cook anymore, And so we are just kind of like self-isolating more and more, and that's something that I'm personally fighting against. That's why I went today. One of the things I want to add to my life is dance classes. So I've done like the floor dance work, like the more sexy work. I don't like pole dancing. I find it a little too masculine for me. Sorry to anyone who does pole dancing. I don't find that mellow pole erotic at all. So I've done floor work, but I'm also very interested in like ballroom dancing, the foxtrot, the country cha-cha-cha. So we did all those today, and I wear my 50s type dresses and twirl, and it was really nice dancing with the men and all the men, I think only a couple men come along. Most of them, they're coming there with their wives, and we swap, in between dances. And it's really nice when they lead me and I can just relax and have them lead me. And it's just so much fun to dance that way, right? There are so many aspects of being with a man that I really like. I don't like hooking up. I personally, and this is my personal ending I'm going to end this video with, is my experience of being single as a 60-year-old woman is that it's not the world that I expected when I divorced. This is not the world I expected when I divorced. I do feel content and happy. I don't feel lonely, and I don't feel empty. So I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. And it used to be the first 2 years I was single, I felt very alone. I felt very sad. It took me 2 years to get used to sleeping alone. And now I'm used to it. And I made my own life without a man. However, I see a value in relationships just as I see a value in working out, good food, parenting, cleaning my apartment, making my own money. I see a value in that, and I would welcome that into my life. And I've tried to find ways to find people to date, and it has not been easy. I'm in San Diego, and some of you might think San Diego is full of attractive, interesting men who want to date. It is not. Mostly what you see on the dating sites are guys who just want to hook up. They don't want a relationship. This is not just my experience. Most of my friends are younger, 20s and 30s. I have a few friends in their 40s, I have some 50s, and I have one 60s. This is all women that I know are going through this. They will like a man, and I'm also in this Facebook group of divorced women over 40. And they will write things like, I really like this man. We had a few dates. We met. I liked him so much. I had sex with him. And then I never saw him again. Or we had sex a few times and it sizzled out and he's just done. The woman wants to keep seeing this man and he doesn't feel the same way, which is fine. He doesn't have to. The point being, I don't ever hear women say, this guy keeps pursuing me and I have no interest at all. I don't ever hear that.